porn star sex drive secrets. Sup guys, it's Pax with PaxPerry.com. If you want coaching or anything that you think I can help you with, I have a wide variety of skills and I love helping people. Go to my website, go to the coaching section on my website where you can see what I offer and where to contact me either by email or just add me on Telegram at August_Pax. So let's get into the secrets. The porn star, medical sex drive secrets, and natural secrets. This is kind of everything that I know about sex drive and my experience, things that I've helped other people on, and there's a lot that goes into it, so bear with me. So let's go over the baseline of health, because this is going to apply to sex drive. If you are eating trash food, if you're not eating whole foods, hopefully, you will probably have issues. And that doesn't relate directly to sex drive, but it relates to indirectly the other things that can impact sex drive. And so you want to be healthy. How do we be healthy? You eat whole foods, you train maybe 3 up to 6 days per week with resistance or calisthenics, weights, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you're into, just have some type of physical activity that keeps you at a lower body fat. You don't want to be overweight. You don't want to be underweight either, like shredded bodybuilder, 4% body fats. At that point, sex drive does not work at all, even with enhancements, even with testosterone. So the bottom line is we want to be healthy, to have a high sex drive, have a hopefully insane sex drive, and we can be sexual and happy and have a good time. I want to go over the things that lower sex drive, and from my knowledge, from my experience and understanding, I know that herbal supplements, specific ones, there's a lot of them. Everyone's different, so I'm not going to say like specific ones definitely cause this issue, except for kratom does lower sex drive. Antidepressants lower sex drive as well. So does Adderall though. But if you're not taking high doses of that, it could be very individual and it may or may not affect you. So what are the things that make sex drive very high? Once we have all of the baseline covered, we're healthy, we're training, we're not having like lack of sleep, we're not sleeping like 4 hours a night and having super high cortisol and things that stress us out, because stress is a major libido killer. And that could either be psychological, that could be physical, that could just be being nervous, things that increase sex drive. Eating enough food for you, having enough healthy fats for you. If you have, like, let's say you're eating 30 or 40, 20 grams of fat per day, that is probably going to lower your sex drive, because we know that fats, healthy fats like olive oil, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, things of that nature will support natural hormone production. And there's hormones in your brain, there's hormones in your body as well, like testosterone and estrogen. Speaking of estrogen, is extremely important for sex drive. So I found out this for myself specifically. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. If you're natural, like 20 to 40 picograms per deciliter on a ultra sensitive estrogen test. You don't want to get the total estrogen. You want to get the ultra sensitive estrogen test, because that is the only one that's accurate. The total estrogen is going to be either plus or minus 3 times above or below. So it's never going to give you an accurate result. So we want to get ultra sensitive estrogen test. For people that are natural, for men, 20 to 40 picograms per 20 to 40 picograms per deciliter is adequate. For people that are on androgens like TRT and even taking steroid cycles, you're going to probably want it to be a little bit more than that. For me personally, last time I did an ultra sensitive estrogen test, which was like a month ago, mine was at a 28 picograms per deciliter. For me personally, that's too low. I need to be above 35 for me to have a functional working sex drive. But the higher the number, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a better sex drive. Because if you're like above 90 picograms per deciliter on estradiol, ultra sensitive estrogen, that for most people can lower your sex drive. Not quite as bad as having an extremely low estrogen level, but there's like a range. For naturals, 20 to 40. For people that are enhanced or on TRT, anywhere from 30 to 70, I believe. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone, though. For me, like, I feel best at 40-ish picograms per deciliter on the ultra-sensitive estrogen. If it's any lower than that, I'm going to probably have issues. And that estrogen is also important for motivation and energy, and it protects your brain. It protects a whole bunch of things in your body, including supporting digestive functions. If your estrogen is too low, you will have terrible digestion. If your estrogen is too high, you also have terrible digestion, and most likely acne. So we want to have the estrogen in the right range for you. For me, that's going to be at least 35 to function well, but no more than 70. The last time I had an estrogen that was a 90, for me, that was too much for me personally. So it's a little bit complicated. Hopefully that makes sense. Testosterone. Testosterone is what converts into estrogen and DHT. DHT is for penis sensitivity. So if you don't have adequate DHT levels, you're not going to have the feeling, like the sensitive feeling that you feel during sex and masturbation and so on. So DHT is going to be, it's a little bit different with DHT. DHT is going to be entirely dependent on the individual. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that it's important. For example, Masteron or drostanolone gives you a little bit higher DHT levels. Everyone's a little bit different. It may not convert to a higher DHT level in some people, but for me, it does. So taking Masteron for about 2 months it lasts. It doesn't really last any longer than that, like 200 to 300 milligrams or so total per week is enough to increase the mental libido and the sensitivity. So this is a complicated thing, but hopefully that makes sense so far. DHT, estrogen, testosterone, those are very, very important for sex drive. If those aren't adequate levels for your body, then it will be impossible to have a high sex drive. So other things, HCG. HCG is interesting. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that it does increase libido in me. I take a very low dose of it. It will also make your balls bigger or regenerate the stimulus needed to have normal testicle size. So if you're taking like other steroids that reduce, which most of them do, reduce the size of your testicles, over time your balls will shrink. You can take HCG and that will fix that. It's dose dependent for each individual, so I can't recommend a specific dose. Other than HCG, my absolute favorite is melanotan 2. Melanotan 2 is super weird, but I fucking love it because for me, personally at least, it has been the most powerful stimulant for sex drive. Melanotan 2, I only take like the lowest dose, so if you fill a 10 milligram vial up with 2 milliliters of bacteriostatic water, the dose on that that I take is to the 5 on the insulin syringe. So it's like literally the tiniest amount. I believe that's 250 micrograms, something like that. I don't know. That's about all I can handle, because any more than that, I'll feel like extremely sick and nauseous. It's kind of like GLP-1, has very similar properties of that, but it just so happens to dramatically increase your sex drive. For that, I will do like every other day, just the lowest dose, or every third day or so. That's enough to make my sex drive extremely, extremely high. So, other than those things that we just talked about, C-Max, the nasal spray, I don't think the injectable C-Max really works that well. I don't know why. Maybe I got a fake container. But every time I take the intranasal C-Max spray at like 900 micrograms, it will not dramatically, but it will increase my sex drive. And I don't know exactly how that works, but it does work. Those are the compounds that I know of that dramatically increase sex drive. Cialis, what about Cialis or Viagra? Cialis and Viagra just promotes hardness. It promotes blood flow. It can actually lower your sex drive, for me at least. I don't know about everyone else, but if I take 5 milligrams of Cialis, that seems to be the right dosage. If I take 10 milligrams, for some reason I will lose the sensitivity. I don't know why that happens. If you get the same thing, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if anyone else has the same side effects with Cialis. I don't like Viagra because last time I took Viagra, it felt like I was going to have a heart attack. So I don't like that one, but I think Cialis is okay. Cialis is good for just overall blood flow, though. It's more than just a PD5 inhibitor. Cialis is what I would consider just another health supplement that promotes nitric oxide and blood flow. So I hope that helps. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.